Good morning, students. Today we are going to start the effect on the peasants of the permanent settlement system. In previous class we have studied about the permanent settlement, the advantages of permanent settlement to the British, and today we are going to study about the effect on the peasants. Now, the actual cultivators were left at the mercy of zamindars who extracted exorbitant rate or imposed illegal tax. Means the actual cultivators were left on the mercy of the zamindar, means the zamindars what they wished to do or what they wished from the cultivators to cultivate, they did, and they extracted everything from them on the rates or imposed illegal taxes. Even they imposed illegal taxes on them. Now, the peasants had to pay revenue even if their crops failed. Hence, they were forced to borrow money from money lenders at high interest rates. So, the peasants, they were forced to pay the revenue even the crop failed. So, for this reason, they were forced to borrow the money from the money lenders at a high interest rates. Now, in case of non-payment of loans, their land was mortgaged. They had to look for alternate employment or migrate to cities. So, in case if they were unable to pay the loan taken from the money lenders, their land was mortgaged and they had to look for the alternative employment or migrate to the cities. Further, peasants were evicted from the lands they had cultivated for generation. This created a class of landless peasants. So the peasants who had the land from the generation, they were removed from their land and they became landless. Now, in many places, money lenders replaced the landlords and took no interest in improving agricultural production. Many were absentee landlords who leased out their lands to tenants and lived in the cities. Now, in the many places, the money lenders, they replaced the landlords and they did not take any interest on improving the agricultural production. And many were the absentee landlord, means they resided in the city and they gave their land to the tenants for the cultivation. Now, the settlement benefited the zamindars more than the company because the land revenue collected from the peasants went up as the areas under cultivation increased. However, the amount they had to pay to the company continued to be the same. By early 19th century, many officials of the British company were convinced that the system of revenue has to be changed. So the problem was that the settlement benefited, this settlement, the permanent settlement, it benefited only zamindar because the land revenue that was collected from the peasant, it increased with the area of the cultivation, but the amount that was paid to the company, it was same, and the rest, the amount that increased, it was kept with the zamindars. So by early 19th centuries, many officials of the British, they convenienced that the revenue system of the permanent settlement was not good and it has to be changed. Now, then a new system came in being, that is known as Mahalwari system. In Mahalwari settlement. In Mahalwari settlement was introduced in 1822 by Hall Mackenzie in modern day Uttar Pradesh, certain parts of Madhya Pradesh and Punjab. It accounted for 30% of the company's territory, covering the United Provinces, Central Provinces, and Punjab, with a variant of system. So, Mahalwari system was introduced by Hall Mackenzie, which in the areas which is in modern day Uttar Pradesh, certain part of the Madhya Pradesh and Punjab. And it accounted for the 30% of the company's territory and covered the United Provinces, Central Provinces and Punjab. Now, Mahal means village, which for Mackenzie was very important and needed to be preserved. Hence, the unit of revenue settlement was the village or mahal, and the revenue demanded was made collectively on the village. So mahal was called to be the village, and for Mackenzie it was very important and needed to be preserved. Hence, the unit of revenue settlement was the village or mahal, and the revenue demanded was made collectively from the whole village. Now, the village headman or lambardar collected the revenue and handed it over to the government. So the man who was the village headman, or he was also known as lambardar, he collected the revenue and handed it over to the government. Now, the head of the village fixed the revenue on the basis of type of land, total land under cultivation, and the customs and the rights of different agricultural group. The estimate revenue of each plot within a village was added up to calculate the revenue that each village or mahal had to pay. So the head of the village, he fixed the revenue that how much have to be paid on the basis of land, total land which is under the cultivation, and the custom and right of the of the different agricultural group. And the estimated revenue that was calculated, it was paid to the government. Now, the rate of revenue was roughly half of the total agricultural produce. This demand was to be revised periodically and not fixed permanently. So the rate of the revenue that was paid, it was roughly half of the total agricultural production, and the demand was to be revised periodically and it was not fixed. However, under this system, the condition of the peasants remained pitiable, and the head of the village retained the right to extract revenue. So, even under this system, the condition of the peasants did not improve. It was then also pitiable, as the head of the village retained the right to extract the revenue. Now, tomorrow we will begin from the Ryotwari system. Thank you.